Welcome to Startup.Tampere podcast, where we explore the people and organizations who are shaping our local startup ecosystem here in Tampere. My name is Karle and I am your host today. And today I'm super excited about having two exquisite, wonderful, dear friends and guests of mine, Katerina and Abdel from Tribe Tampere.
Woohoo! Hello, hello.
Excellent to have you guys on board. For the listeners to know who may be not yet familiar with Tribe, so Tribe is a key player in connecting and empowering startups in Tampere. And we'll dive into, amongst other things, the stories behind you two people, Tribe's mission, the future of Tribe, and also maybe have a comment or two about the local startup scene from the Tribe's perspective. But hey, dear guests, Abdel and Katerina, thank you for joining us. And would like to start by asking a few warmer questions to get us sort of warm and get going. Katerina, could you perhaps start by introducing yourself a little bit and, who you are and what you do at Tribe?
Okay, thanks for having us. My name is Katerina Crawford and I am with Tribe for almost 4 years in various roles. And as of now, for about 2 years as a business development lead.
Thanks, Katerina. And for the gentleman over there, Abdel, please.
Yeah, first, thank you for having us here, Karle. It's really nice to be here. I have joined Tribes like 2 years and a half right now, operating as a community lead, marketing and events, basically all Tribes events. I run, design and execute that and also keeping the marketing and our social media alive.
And actually, probably also good for our listeners to remember and to hear about. There's a few more people working for Tribe. Could you maybe walk us through very briefly who else is involved?
Yeah, there is Julia Nieminen, our colleague. Then there is Ishan, who works closely with us since he has been involved in the community for a really long time. Also, we do operate with a volunteering base plus interns, so there is a lot of hidden people working behind us, and maybe we are the lucky 3% that surface there, but it's a lot of community work from volunteers, from in-house startups as well.
There you go. I mean, even though they're not here today, their work is definitely valuable, and we can see it in many ways in events and in the daily operations of Tribe. But let's go back to those in a second or two. But of course, the personal touch, the personal flavor is also very important, I think, for our listeners. And Katerina, Abdel, what drew you to the startup scene in the first place? What happened?
For me, if I start?
Yeah.
It was actually a startup. So I'm a startup founder as well. I've been working on my startup for over 4 years, and Tribe was the community that I found. So I didn't know where to go, where to start. I was bridging from my profession to another profession as well, combining in my startup, and then Tribe was the place, actually. So I kind of started going as a community member, and then I did some internship in there as well, and then eventually chairperson, and now business development lead. But without Tribe, it's so connected with my journey. Without Tribe, I don't think I would be still going at it.
What about you, Abdel?
For me, it started, I think, during my university. When I was doing my bachelor's, I was involved in student entrepreneurship activities, something similar to Tampere, but with more social impact. And then that led me to continue studies in that field. And the moment I found myself in Tampere, in Finland here, visited Tribe, and I could see it clearly, like, this is where I want to be. This is where I belong. I have started this at young age while studying. Now it's time to actually make a living and start a career in that.
Sounds good. And I mean, knowing both of you, you have seen a lot and you've experienced, you've been in quite a journey already. Maybe you could share our listeners, maybe 1 or 2 examples of some highlights of your journey so far. Something that you have experienced while being working at Platform 6 up on the 5th floor, or any other the events, or something that is memorable for you guys, or what has make it, what's some sort of in your heart?
You go.
Okay.
You go. There's a lot of things. Difficult to pick one.
It's really hard to pick one. But for me, the moments that are always making it really worthy is when people come, and they come all the time. But when they come, and then you can see in their eyes like the kind of like excitement and confusion about their new idea or whatever initiative they're planning and whatnot. And then they need someone to talk to. And while they're talking to us, it's not that we give them necessarily like the golden advice. It's just that they actually sort their own ideas, kind of bouncing it off of us in a very supportive, environment. And then there's this like moment when they're like, oh, hey, I know what to do. And then if we can see them actually like how they're progressing and taking it into different levels and whatnot, and they're still coming back because they feel that we are the base to help them, that is, for me, that is all the worth.
Yeah, I would add to that. It's a lot of human interaction that you get there, and you get too close to the founders that you actually get the personal aspect first. And it's so nice to see them growing from the first contact you made with them, and especially with landing cases, for example, or with other in-house startups, that the moment they left the house.
Abdel, what's a landing case?
Well, a landing case is any startup that's decide to relocate to Finland overall and take Tampere as a city for them to have their office here and launch their startup from Tampere. Yes, you are more welcome to come. We have the best ecosystem here. But for real, those cases, you get to see with them how they evolved.
Yeah.
And the gong we have on the 5th floor.
Yeah.
We do actually share the joy with the founders. For example, Milloin recently, they close sales deals. You hear that, you feel happy inside, that someone is making good things. The startup is growing, there is good things happening. And I do think this sort of interaction is what makes our work worthy there. And that's the best feeling that I could have from my workspace.
Yeah, and it's those are all very, 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 very valuable points, and something that popped my mind. You both of you mentioned when you came to Tampere. So obviously, what took you to Tampere, and maybe also you have decided to stay in Tampere. So what makes Tampere a special place for you guys, and what do you see Tampere has inspiring and interesting for startups, other things as well than just services? So what makes Tampere a ticking place for startups?
I came here for like family reasons, actually, about 7 years ago, and I did not absolutely expect myself ended up in this journey. Like when we arrived here to Tampere, I thought that the journey will be absolutely different, and then life happened, and then at first, this is my 6th country that I live in, Finland. Wow. So for me, Tampere is like a combination of big enough city, but still small city, very cozy. It's as a newcomer, it was very easy for me to start networking and get to know the right people very fast because of the size of it. And the community aspect was absolutely crucial, as I said already before. And then because it's quite compact, and as I said, you can get to a lot of knowledge quite easily, even as a foreigner. The service is gonna, there are a lot of services that as an entrepreneur you need, and they're reachable. So accessibility and community, it's the thing that made it for me as a number one place right now.
Did you came to Tampere first?
Yeah, I came to Tampere and I stayed in Tampere.
Yeah, because I have quite different and interesting story how I Pori. My first touch point in Finland was Pori. Straight from the airport.
Lovely city on the west coast.
Yep. And then if you ask me what is your hometown in Finland, I would say I'm from Pori. Yeah, from the airport to Pori, lived there for a year. I had a volunteering project, then studies brought me to Tampere. I have visited and I could feel the vibe of the city. It has, as Katerina mentioned, it's not the biggest city, but also it's not the smallest. Everything is accessible. Started my studies, then searching for my first on-the-job learning. That's how I figured out about Tribe. I was in search for some place where I can combine my master's studies in entrepreneurship support and my current studies, and Tribe was the best place to do that. So my on-the-job learning, then after that I started working with Tribe, and then I get to enjoy the city even more. That I feel like I am already living in the city, more invested in the city. Then I get to discover the other perspective of living in Finland. Coming from a small city, of course, helped me to understand the culture better. And those tools made my journey here in Tampere easier. That just enjoying the city, enjoying all the places you can get. It's beautiful. Nasi Arve, Särkänniemi, like saunas and all of that. So yeah, it has everything.
Yeah. And now that I'm tempted to mention, because we're going to talk about Tribe soon and the fifth floor at Platform 6 and everything about that. But you mentioned the sauna. It's a curious thing to remember that also the Platform 6, the startup house in Tampere, has a sauna.
Yes, of
So
course.
so that's always good to keep in mind. Thanks, guys. Clearly and obviously, when I listen to you, both of you, I can hear that there has been like an integrational touch point for both of you, and that has been Tribe as an organization where you both are now working for. So, but for those who don't necessarily yet know or need a reminder, so what's Tribe all about? So how does the organization look like, and what are you guys dealing with and doing?
To put it as simple as it is, Tribe is the low entry to the startup journey. If you have something in mind, you want to try it, that's the place where you can start. Like from zero commitment to maximum commitment, you can try, fail, and still get the right support during that journey. I always like to refer it as in football. There is the team playing and there is the guys from the academy throwing the balls. At some point, they end up being big stars. And that's how Tribe functions. There is the big guys having offices. There is the whole ecosystem around you. But also, if you are wandering around, you want to test, there is a spot for you. And we would love to keep it that way, actually.
Yes, I agree. As I said, like Tribe is quite connected to me as a personal journey as an entrepreneur. It is very welcoming, and it doesn't matter. Literally, we have it even in our inclusiveness values. Like, it doesn't matter where you come from. You are always welcome if you have an entrepreneurship mindset. And it's, in a nutshell, it's basically a place where you find out what your entrepreneurial journey is going to look like. So through networking, through events, through support, you can shape your own journey.
If I can add something to that, it's the whole human-centric approach you get there. It's so international, and then at the same time, it's so Finnish. And then you get to have this mix,
Yes.
and it's welcoming for everyone. It doesn't matter who you are or from where you are coming from or what you are doing, as long as you have the growth mindset, you are enthusiastic about startups and the startup ecosystem, you will definitely find something there for you.
And to me, it also it sounds like it's kind of also kind of like a guiding light or guiding point that when someone new enters the ecosystem and wants to tries to navigate their own path and where to find startup services or office to work from, and all those things. To me, at least, it sounds like Tribe is kind of like this welcoming entry point as well, from where you guys can guide to the other steps as well. So it plays quite a significant role in the local startup ecosystem, I would say. How do you feel, Katerina? How does a typical day look like for you when you're operating?
You know what? I was actually thinking about it just today, and I was thinking, like, should I take a video of this? Because a typical day is so very untypical every single time. You never know what's gonna come at you, and that is the beauty of it, for me at least. I mean, of course, like, there are some things, you go in, you open the space, and you welcome people to co-work, or for example, people who are already renting in Platform 6. Residents, you just chat with them and see what's going on, if they have any blockages, if they have any things to share, news and whatnot. So networking and talking is the main thing, I would say. But for example, today, like, we've had a couple of meetings, we've had new framery booths fitting, we've had planning for events for next week, we've had like some technical problem, it is absolutely. It could be anything.
It's a beautiful chaos.
It is a beautiful chaos.
It's a beautiful chaos in which we really enjoy working in that. It's, I like this word, like a fast-paced moving environment. Well, that's the fifth floor, actually. And typically, you are always trying in planning ahead what's going to happen. You get to plan, for example, the next event based on those tiny conversations she mentioned. So you could understand what are the things our founders are lacking. What am I supposed to go next? You get to meet with other ecosystem players, and then you figure out, oh, maybe we could join effort on this. And luckily, we are working like 3 part-time employees. We are super agile, that we can quickly adapt and start doing something right at the moment. And then, tada, you have concrete networking, whatever event that is startup focused in short amount of time. So that's Tribe. Like, we do plan, but we do pivot a lot.
And it's probably also relates back to the history of Tribe and how he has sort of developed and evolved and changed sort of the landscape of startups seen in general in Tampere. And I think the very interesting thing is what you also mentioned, like this agility and be able to be agile and adjust to situations and changing environments. And I think exactly because of that aspect, that no day is the same in the startup ecosystem. It really requires, first of all, it requires personality, but also this openness, and be able to see that tomorrow is going to look very different from today, or it might look the same. It doesn't matter. The point is, it's there for the startup community to thrive and blossom, kind of. But of course, you guys are doing a wonderful, with Julia and with their volunteers and everyone, like a wonderful job. But it's a lot of jobs, so no one can do everything alone. So what kind of a collaboration are you guys looking for? Maybe locally, maybe internationally, kind of like a call to action. So if there are listeners out there who are eager and can kind of get the energy that you guys are as well having, same way as Mikko Savilat a few episodes back when he talked about the importance of energy in the startup scene. But they are listeners with the right type of energy, and they want to collaborate. They want to be a part of this journey. So what kind of collaborations are you looking for? Maybe Katerina, you can start.
Yes. So actually, as part of Tribe's kind of like regular program, we run Finnish roundtables, and that is basically like a group of organizations from, well, we have Tampere roundtables and we have Finnish roundtables, Finland level roundtables. So it's we call for organizations, companies, and ecosystem players to gather together and see, kind of like update each other about what's happening. And what I really liked in the last one that we had before Christmas was that the group was so lively and in sharing and wanting to. There was the energy, exactly what you're talking about. There's a lot of people that want to, and a lot of organizations that are actually matching our energy, and they want to do things and they want to help people. And they were so active that they asked for a creation of a Telegram group. So now we have even chat groups so that we can be more agile, not just meeting every 3 months or whatever. Anybody, any organization, any university, for example, anybody who is willing to help upcoming entrepreneurs and they want to have a partner, those are the collaborations that we need. Of course, investors, as I said, universities, individuals as well. Yeah. Whoever wants to, get their hands dirty in a way, they are more than welcome. And I'm sure we will figure out one way or another to help and collaborate.
Yeah, speaking of Mikko and hubs, that's one example of how collaboration is happening here in Tampere, for example. We do have a sort of close target audience, and it's nice to join efforts so we could have better impact and more impact. They reach to our audience, and then we reach their audience back, and then we join our expertise together to create programs. Us going to their sparring sessions, for example, or hosting what Hubs is doing in bringing the university customers to the Platform 6 Startup House so they could see their future path. If you want to continue with your business idea, maybe relocating to the Startup House in the city center would be nice. It's better than staying at the campus. So the collaboration is open to any institution, to any organization that support the startup mindset. They work on the creation. We want to create more startup teams in Tampere. If you are here in Tampere, that's a straightforward call for action. Let's gather, have a meeting, plan something how we could make those teams move forward. If you are internationals, we do always welcome international expertise, and we have been doing that with For example, Ozan that I have worked with, bring in his experience as coach from Estonia, from the US, and from Turkey in doing leading workshops here in Tampere. This kind of fresh perspective that you give to startup ideas here in Tampere. So this is the type of collaborations that we are searching for. And again, it's still serving our purpose as the connecting tissue in the ecosystem. Even if you are working on a late stage, we for sure could connect you to one of the in-house organizations that has the same, business. Tampere, for example, you might fit with them, and that connection could happen through us. And that's the role that we always willing to keep, is being the connecting tissue between other organizations to create more value in this ecosystem.
And if I may add, like, of course, we are still looking for new collaboration and partners and whatnot. But at the same time, we have to thank the existing ones, like not only from Platform 6 House, like Redstone and Tredu as well, City as well. Like, it is amazing that we have this space that we are, that we are operating from. So definitely, I'm so happy to see that many people in Tampere to be active from very different spheres.
And that's probably also interesting, looking from a broad perspective. You mentioned that you basically are welcoming for anyone who are eager and have the right mindset and energy and push through. And maybe once they start a company through you, they might find their path. You mentioned the connecting tissue towards the services, startup services provided then by Redstone.
Yes.
In terms of like coaching the startups to the next stage. So is there something you would like to say about kind of like the collaboration between kind of the different service providers? Maybe Redstone in case in point or any of the others?
Yeah, again, so far how the services are happening, they are happening on multiple levels. And then, of course, if you don't fit in that program, you can still be part of the community. And then, of course, if you don't fit for us, we could just push you forward for the service. Like, for example, Redstone Accelerator program. And then now the focus on creation of more startup teams that will actually feed the funnel, not just from our side, but from all the other service providers, how we can all collaborate to create more teams and push them forward for the funnel. So we could have more startups actually.
And get them the services they need. Yeah. That's why we were talking about the tiny conversations that we try to have on everyday basis with anyone who comes in or anyone we see outside, even outside Tribe, of course. Like, it's kind of like in you. You like, I found out that I am promoting Tribe and ecosystem everywhere I go pretty much. That is kind of like, you keep tabs on people who you talk to, and then you like every single time I'm talking to someone, for example, I'm sure that goes for everyone, it's like you immediately start matching where can I put them, who can I connect them with, and stuff like that. So that's happening not only on individual level but also organizational level all the time.
I think that's due to our maybe place of work. Like, we work closely with, I meet Sanna on a daily basis at a coffee machine, for example. You could meet...
Who is Sanna here?
Sanna Heinonen from Redstone. So you met her on a daily basis. You meet Tredu also on a daily basis. Business Tampere on daily basis. So it's easy actually to just, hey, I have this person for you. Would you like to have a chat with this person? And that's happened. One just recently, startup come in here and they were asking about relocation. I was like, you know what? You should actually go to Business Tampere. It's on the second floor. Have a meeting with them.
Yeah.
And that said, actually, I want to just say that it's not for people who don't know about Tribe and stuff like that. They don't have to come to us. They can just come to the space and do the same things for themselves. Like, it's not that we are the gatekeepers of, contacts or whatever. The networking is happening there naturally. So it's not, we can help, of course, but it's not like it has to go through us. Yeah.
That actually kind of already touched my next question. I was curious if you turn the sort of the table around and ask the question from a newcomer's point of view. So what type of advice, tips, hints you would have for people who are just about to finding the opportunities of the startup world in Tampere? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Come. Just come, and then we can chat if they need. We can have a chat, of course, and see what needs we can cover. And it's really, when we say it's an international space, I think that sometimes people feel like, like for example, Finnish people feel like they cannot come. Yeah, I mean, my Finnish is still in progress, the learning, but at the same time, I would do everything in my power to make them feel welcome and accommodate them. So the only thing that would prevent them from possibly success, let's say, would be not looking for opportunities, not coming. And there is no right or wrong idea. There's no right or wrong question. Everything is so low threshold that literally the advice is to come.
Yeah, like is as again simple. You can get from that place as much as you invest in it in terms of time, effort, relationship wise also. So once you have a startup idea in mind and you decided to come to our space, please do talk to as many people as possible. The house does know this language of, hey, what is your business idea? What are you working on? How can I support you? And you might not know to whom you are actually talking. It might be a founder, might be somehow investors. So you can get some really good sparring in a moment where you are not actually thinking of it. I give you an example of the unfiltered founders that we had this talk show with the Startup Foundation. 3 of the biggest startups in Tampere, and you have the founders there talking about their journey from really personal point of view, how they went through that. And it was so nice to see how Juha from Quantscience was interacting with another person that working on his business idea on a really early stage. And given this sparring on a corridor by just the person approaching and asking, and then tada, you get some really good sparring from really seasoned professionals. So please come and invest your time there.
I think that somehow really nicely summarizes, I think, the whole role of Tribe as an organization, but also you two as people. It's lovely to listen to you because I feel the energy. I know the driven mission that you guys are all also working on, and maybe also for the startup house and the startup ecosystem in general is this give back mindset. I think it is super important, and I think the work, the valuable work that you guys are putting every day on the plate is kind of like this fostering, nurturing this give back mentality. You give some, you gain some, and I think this is really the key message. But if we look at a few steps towards the future as well, I mean, I think the future looks quite bright for Startup.Tampere, but what's going to be for Tribe? What's going to happen next? Any big plans or goals for 26 that you can already now disclose? Or
I want to flex and say like it looks brighter,
yeah,
but
or is it going to be like big news coming out?
Yeah, spoiler alert. We are having our next incubator program. I'm not supposed to say much about it. Startup
Please
Rocket.
don't, because we will have yet another episode about it.
I know. So I'm just gonna say the name, Startup Rocket. Check that out, and of course we will have another talk about it. That's something, and then from that as well, how we can take the learnings and implement them in the next year, not this one, but 2027. So it's look promising. We just have to keep the mindset, keep the spirit of doing things founders first, not just thinking of us as organization, because they are the stars and we are just there to support.
Absolutely.
And what about Katerina? How do you see Tampere startup ecosystem evolving in the next coming years?
Well, I am from my personal point of view, it feels like the organization players are kind of coming together. It feels like we are getting closer to each other. And I think that is very good news for everyone who wants to, who needs the help, because then that means that the communication is working, and that the moments that we were saying, like, oh, I can, put this person over here and that person over here, will actually help so much. Like, it will speed up the process of startup founders getting to the point where they need to be and getting the information they need. So if that keeps going, if that keeps growing, if the ecosystem players are growing closer and know more of each other, I think that is the only best way we can do it.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Abdel?
Again, it's joining effort, so we could have more impact. and it has been proven with many initiatives that has been done between 2-3 organizations. Tampere is small compared to other ecosystems, and that's our strength. Like, we are small, easy to reach people, so you can create more impact. Why not keep working on that? Those business ideas, those driven individuals, they do need that expertise, either if they are in Hervanta or in Taus campus. How can we bridge all of that and push? Let's get some creation happening and use all our resources, because at the end you can count actually how many ecosystem players we are having, and we are all functioning we should be functioning actually as one big funnel to produce more startups at the end.
And if you would move towards the wrap up of this conversation, listening to you and now trying to find and think what would be your sort of greetings. Maybe Katerina, maybe what would be your greetings for startups for this coming year, 2026? And then Abdel, for you a question, what would be a call to action for ecosystem players for 2026?
So greetings. As I said before, I think I might continue with the welcome and be brave. Don't hesitate. Even if you're not sure about your idea, just come forward and discuss it and clear out your thoughts and see if you can take it anywhere, because like Tampere is a very good place to start.
I think my call for action for ecosystem players is, let's encourage the creation of new ideas, of new teams, like forming those teams, and also help them fail faster so they could rebuild again, and then we move forward. Fastening the wheel on the beginning, so we would have actually solid teams, experienced ones. They have failed and learned, and then they could just move on, and the scaling would be much easier for them. And we do have the tools for that as an ecosystem.
There you go. I mean, Katerina, Abdel, thank you, both of you, so much for sharing your insights and also the energy, the passion for building a Thrive and Startup community here in Tampere. For listeners who want to get involved, who want to know more, how do they do it? I mean, obviously we heard that they can come to Platform 6 to the 5th floor, yes. But those ones...
Doors are open 9 to 5 every day.
But what alternative ways there are?
There is Slack channel. Yes. There is our website where you can find our emails. But the best one is always come for a cup of coffee on the 5th floor.
Yes, absolutely. Or sauna.
Oh, yes.
Sounds like a great plan, guys. And if you enjoy this episode, please follow us on social medias. Visit Platform 6. Get in touch with Katerina and Abdel and Julia and the others. We'll figure out a way together to support your startup journey towards the rocket stage, so to speak. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice weekend.
You too.
Thank you.